Hi and a very warm welcome to this episode of CareersLab, where I focus on your careers questions. Thank you everyone for sending them in. I appreciate each and every single one. And in this episode, I'm going to focus on 3 of those. Namely, how to answer the interview classic tell me about yourself, how to respond if a recruiter asks you if you're applying elsewhere, and whether or not a master's is worth it. 3 terrific questions from Enrico, Mark and Vadim. So let's roll the intro and get right into it. First question comes in from Enrico and he asks, how would you structure a tell me about yourself question? A great question, Enrico. There are loads of ways candidates can approach an answer to this question, but for me there is an approach that definitely wins, and it starts with the job description. Note down the top 3 things that they say they want, and frame your answer around those, giving short evidence for each of those things. So for example, sure, I'd love to tell you about myself. There are 3 main components that I'd like to focus my answer around, and the first of those is my communicative ability. Now, whilst volunteering at the Grant Museum, I used a range of open questions when designing a visitor survey and ensuring I used age-appropriate language for younger visitors as well. And the managing committee were really happy with what I was able to achieve there. The second skill I'd like to focus on is, now I think you get the point. You're looking to give direct evidence for the things that the employer wants to see nice and early, and by structuring it in this way, e.g., I'd like to frame my answer around 3 main components, you're making it super easy for the recruiters to see exactly which skills you're referencing and what evidence you're giving in respect of those. Good luck with this approach, Enrico. The second question comes in from Mark and he asks, when they ask me in an interview if I've applied elsewhere, should I? Now the good news is, Mark, when people ask you this, it's normally a good sign. Perhaps they're looking to gauge how much competition there is for you or how quickly they have to move to give you an offer, or they're just curious to see how you'll answer. Now I recommend answering this question with something along the lines of, I am considering a range of options, but I'm really excited to be here today. I've been looking into Project X and your collaborations with Y. I think there's a neat fit with my own experience and I'm excited about discussing that with you. By gently and professionally drawing back the attention to whether you are a right fit for each other or not, you're giving yourself the best chance of showing evidence in respect of the skills that matter to them and to figure out if it's right for you. I feel like some people will think a good approach here is to say they're not applying elsewhere in order to signal their availability. But here's the thing, we're human and we value scarcity, so I don't think there's ever any problem in saying that we are considering other options. If anything, it may increase the perceived value of you in the eyes of the recruiter. You might also notice that I don't actually say I'm applying elsewhere, only that I'm considering a range of options. So this makes this approach usable in pretty much any situation. Good luck, Mark, and let me know how it goes. Meanwhile, Vadim asks, is a master's worth it or not? I love this question. It's direct and it's important. And Vadim, I think it depends on your definition of worth. So worth could mean financial. How much more money would you earn with a master's versus a bachelor's? Worth could mean how much more senior you could become in a sector or how easy it is to access a particular sector. Or it could even mean specialization, because you can do a master's in earthquake engineering and disaster management, for example, but you'd struggle to find that specialism at bachelor's level, so that gives a worth too. Once you're confident you've defined worth for yourself accurately, Vadim, the next step is to test it against data. So if you want to test whether a master's would give you better access to a particular profession, for example disaster management, you can look at the profiles of professionals in that field on LinkedIn, how many of them have master's degrees. If 45 out of 50 professionals in that field have a master's degree, maybe that's telling you something, whereas if 10 out of 50 have a master's degree, maybe that's telling you something else. And if you want to test how far a master's can get you into your chosen profession, contact alumni and other professionals in that field to get a better understanding of how much a master's will actually help. Once you've tested the factors that are consistent with your definition of worth, Vadim, the next step is to calculate the cost side of the equation. Not just the course fees, but living expenses, the salary you won't be getting from the work you might otherwise have done, and what that year's experience might be worth, as well as interest payments if you need loans. Now, I'm not pretending that it's an exact science nor that it's easy, Vadim, But what I am suggesting is that by going through this process, I feel that it's reasonably likely that you will come to the right decision for you. But if you go through this process and you're still not sure, Vadim, that's where professional careers coaches like me can help, but also trusted individuals who will listen to the factors that matter most to you. Good luck, Vadim. Thank you so much for your questions, Enrico, Mark, Vadim, and everyone who sent their questions in. I value them enormously. Now, if you have any more careers questions, please do send them in to careers.marketing@ucl.ac.uk, and they may well feature in the next Q&A video. That's it from me for this week. I'll see you next time.